With Silent Hill 2, we have, unfortunately, another example on how PSSR should not work in a game. Just a couple of days after they updated the game with 1.05, which also included PSSR for the graphics and performance mode, they now removed PSSR with version 1.06. And if you haven't watched Digital Foundry's videos to Silent Hill 2 patch 1.05, then I would strongly recommend to do that, because I missed out actually to test 1.05, so I can't actually compare the performance mode with 1.05 with the performance mode in 1.06. Also, unfortunately, I don't have a disk version what they have also tested. So they actually tested version 1.0, so the disk version versus the latest patch back then, 1.05, and they found also that the image quality with version 1.0 is much better than with 1.05. But what about the latest update, 1.06 now, which is removing PSSR from the performance mode? And when we're now comparing actually performance mode PlayStation 5 Pro with PlayStation base or base PlayStation 5, then you can see that the picture image quality is actually very identical. Okay, let's say like this. We're not going into much details right now. It's just really comparing if we now back to the old state. But when we're now comparing the quality mode where PSSR is still active on the PlayStation 5 Pro, then you can actually see why they removed PSSR from the performance mode. And also interesting to see is that in regards of performance, and again I'm comparing my video to Digital Foundry when they tested patch 1.05 with PSSR enabled in the performance mode, I can't now with version 1.06 where they removed PSSR, you hardly find any difference in regards of performance. I mean, sometimes the PlayStation 5 Pro has a couple of frames more, sometimes the base PlayStation 5. So it's actually quite similar. Back then, 1.05, according to Digital Foundry, had an improvement of around 10 FPS with PSSR enabled in the performance mode. Okay, my friends, so this was just a very quick video about the latest update, patch 1.06, which is now removing PSSR from the performance mode because it introduced a lot of issues. And I watched Digital Foundry's video. It just looks absolutely awful. I mean, the performance mode already in Silent Hill 2 it's not very nice looking. Okay, let's say like this. Okay, I still prefer it because of the 60 or target 60 FPS in combination with VR, but it's not a very good looking resolution game on the PlayStation 5. With PSSR, I was actually expecting to get a better image quality as in other games, but my experience so far, and again I like to be honest, is actually quite the opposite. So PSSR is not making the image better in many games. We have introduced film noise or something like that, or a grainy noise on the picture all the time, plus this shimmering, plus this flickering, and sometimes it even costs a lot of FPS. So right now PSSR has a lot of issues, and I just hope that they will work on that, because I'm pretty sure, don't get me wrong, I'm pretty sure PSSR is the future, or upscaling in general, regardless of what the name is, FSR, DLSS, PSSR, whatever comes, that's how it should work. And when we just comparing, or when we just looking at DLSS, it had a long way to go. It started with version 1.0, whatever it started, and it was not perfect. It was far away from being perfect. I mean, it's not perfect now, but the result what I'm getting when I'm using DLSS is just absolutely fantastic, and I prefer this all the time over native 4K. And I'm hoping we get the same result at some point with PSSR as well. But right now, it's not even close to be usable.